Hi, Josh. How are you?
Well, how are you today, Andrea?
I'm good. Just wait for a little bit longer, see who hops on. I know.
How many are
What?
how many are registered?
I'm not quite sure. We had a couple. Let me go look real quick. I didn't check it this morning. Let's see.
5?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
How are you? Have you already? Is this your first one, or have you done any more yet?
Well, it's my first one for the week, but I've done startup week for the last 3 years, so we'll see.
Have you just been an attendee, or have you done some workshops of your own?
Our office does ongoing workshops throughout the year. We do about 150 seminars a year.
Oh, wow. Just covering like a whole variety of topics?
Yep, everything from small business startup to social media to accounting to um, business planning to succession planning to legal to we just go on
Everything.
and on.
Yeah, right. So is it mainly just like you're talking to company leaders, or do you have workshops where you like talk to employees and stuff?
Generally, ours are well. In addition to our seminars, we do one-on-one counseling too.
Oh, okay.
So our offices, we're part of Small Business Development Center. We're kind
Okay.
of this offshoot of the Small Business Administration. Matter of fact, Madison, who's jumping on the call right now, she's part of our team too.
Oh, awesome. Well, hello, Madison. I don't know if she has audio yet, but welcome. Good morning.
Good people. But regardless, we are we we have about 550 clients we work with on any given point.
Yeah. Just in Chattanooga, or do you go outwards from there?
We cover 8 counties all the way up to Warren County and out to Franklin County.
Oh, super cool. All right, got another one coming in. Rhonda. Rhonda's coming in. It's interesting being in this virtual world. Last
Right?
year, I led a workshop where everyone came to the office, so it's definitely interesting being being in this virtual atmosphere. Hi, Ron.
Different feel.
Good morning. Sorry, I had to just get unmuted and get my camera on.
Yeah, no, of course. I was literally just saying this whole navigating this virtual space is definitely interesting.
Learned a lot.
All right, so Michelle is coming in. Good morning, Michelle. I'll wait just a few more minutes, see if we have anybody hopping on. I know that there were 5 that were registered, so we may have one more hopping on. So how's everybody's morning been going?
Good.
Good. And Rhonda, what do you do?
I work at Bench Builders. We're a consulting company that primarily does management training, HR consulting, coaching,
Oh,
and have not been doing quite as much training
uh-huh.
this past summer, but doing a little bit more consulting with some small companies as they maneuver through a lot of these changes this year.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I could only imagine. So do your client base, is it mostly in the Chattanooga area, or do you kind of go outwards from there?
Well, we've worked with companies all over, but primarily right now, kind of, I would say between Atlanta, Nashville, Knoxville area. So that's kind of the geographic boundaries I've been working with
Yeah.
mostly this year. Not as much travel as I had been doing. I had a lot of travel planned early in the year, and it just it was all training. It was all management training. So that just came to a halt, hopefully a temporary halt, and we'll get back on track with a lot of that training early in the year next year.
Yes, I know. So September, October, November, those are big travel months for me as well, because I go to a lot of recruiting events, so college fairs and, different
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Those have all
Yeah.
completely virtual.
Yep.
So yes, I'm typically traveling a lot this time of year as well, and that has
Yeah.
happened. But not too bad. I'm not a
Yeah.
traveler, so I'm okay saying it.
It's a little strange. I haven't been in an airport since February, I guess. It's a little strange because I used to travel a lot.
Yeah, I think February was the last time that I have been in an airport as well, actually.
Yeah.
Weirdly. Okay, awesome. Well, I think that might be everybody that we have. I think that was everybody that was registered. So welcome. I would love to kind of go through and just everyone introduce themselves. You know, who you are, what you do, all that good stuff. So we can all just meet each other because I know I was saying earlier this virtual space is a little weird. So I would love to see your faces, hear your voices, all of that good stuff. So Rhonda, why don't we start with you?
Okay. Well, I work with Bench Builders, Rhonda Beard, and we're a consulting company. And there's really just three of us working in the company right now. And we kind of contract and refer out some things if we get business that maybe doesn't fall within our bailiwick. But we primarily do management training and really any kind of training. I've done some other types of training with some customers as well, customer service training, things like that. Strategic planning, human resources, consulting, and coaching. And so, as I was saying, I've spent most of my time since the pandemic started really doing HR consulting for small businesses, primarily that either don't have HR, they're so small that they don't have an HR staff, or they may only have one person who's really struggled handling a lot of the changes that have happened with FFCRA and the paid sick leave and employees, concerned about COVID and how to develop COVID policies. So that's primarily what I've been spending my time on the last several months. And then we're starting to get a little bit more interest in getting training back on the schedule. So hopefully, we're already almost into the holidays. And so I think it's really going to be probably after the first of the year that we get back kind of on our track and doing management training with some companies.
Well, awesome. Well, welcome. I'm glad that you are here.
Thank you.
Josh, why don't we flip to you if you want to introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Josh Brown. I'm a business counselor at the Tennessee Small Business Development Center. We are essentially the counseling arm of the Small Business Administration. We help businesses, whether they're in startup, whether they're mature, wherever they are for the life of their business. The great part is there's no cost for what we do. You've already paid for us through your tax dollars. We act as that extra set of eyes on your business to help you focus on the business of your business. So we'll deal with everything from accounting to human resource to succession planning to helping people figure out loan package preparation or reviewing financials, helping people understand do's and don'ts of interviewing and hiring and firing. So we cover a whole lot of stuff. Additionally, we offer about 150 seminars a year. From marketing to HR, you name it, we're doing it. But we office over at the incubator on the North Shore, but we cover 8 counties in Southeast Tennessee. And I've been with the SBDC for almost 5 years and here to help the community.
Nice. Well, welcome. Madison, why don't we jump to you if you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am also with the Small Business Development Center. Josh and I are on the team together. I've been with the TSBDC for coming up on 2 years, and I'm the office supervisor. So I do a lot of admin related. I also do our marketing and coordinating our classes.
Sweet. Well, welcome, Madison. Michelle, why don't we jump to you if you'd like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm not an HR professional, and I didn't realize that this was going to be live. My apologies. I'm in the middle of a move, so it's kind of crazy right now on my end. But I was curious about the topic. I currently work at TrueCar, and I've been in the tech industry for quite a while, automotive tech. But with this company, I have relocated quite a bit and have become almost a bit of a pro moving and reload with them, as well as done my own moves. And when I saw the topic of other benefits that companies could potentially provide to their employees, especially right now, it was interesting I just wanted to kind of hear the conversation and different ideas. I'm also part of the DEI committee at the company, so I know that's top of hand at a lot of companies as well. So was just curious, from that perspective. In addition, my husband and I have been also tinkering with ideas of what to start up. He's an entrepreneur, and I've kind of taken the corporate route for a little while. So just wanted to, hear new thoughts and ideas and get my feet under me a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Well, welcome, Michelle. We're glad that you're here. Stephanie, why don't we hop to you if you'd like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Stephanie Kukas. Just recently started a women-owned small business startup,
Nice.
and we're focused on building our platform currently. So we are a team of 3. So we don't have a lot of HR issues yet, but if everything goes according to plan, we will need to have some insight into how best to do things going forward.
Of course. Well, welcome. I had a couple hop in and hop out, so I think that's all we have right now. So I will introduce myself. My name is Caitlin Clark. I am the manager of people and culture here at Trident Transport. I was supposed to have a friend with me today, Haley Stone. She is our benefits coordinator. She handles, like, seriously, our benefits guru. But she is about 38 weeks pregnant. So she is at home because she may be having a baby. So I'm kind of taking the lead and doing this. And so she definitely gave me all of her notes and stuff that she was going to cover. So while I'm talking about all of this, is if there is a question that you all have that I may not be able to answer, I will definitely shoot Haley an email with everybody's questions after this is over with for anything that I personally can't answer. And she, of course, can provide those answers for me so I can relay them to you all as well if there's anything very specific about benefits that I may not know. But she did give me the lowdown of the part that she was going to cover. So hopefully I will be able to answer any and all questions that you all may have. But just a little bit about the company before we kind of dive into this topic. So like I said, I'm with Trident Transport. We are a logistics company based in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We actually have 2 other locations, one in Tampa and one in Minneapolis. We started in 2013, and we have had some explosive growth since then. So just if you aren't familiar with logistics, basically we help clients get their products shipped from point A to point B with our network of carriers that we have. So Chattanooga is definitely a huge logistics hub. So that's kind of what we do on the day to day. But why we are talking about benefits today is that we at Trident definitely have been trying to cultivate a very good employee experience for all of our employees. Actually, last year during Startup Week, I led a workshop on employee engagement and employee happiness and some different ideas that companies can utilize to increase that engagement and happiness with their employee base. And so our benefits package actually kind of plays right into that. So our owners are very big at making the employee experience as best as possible. We definitely want to be known as one of the best places to work in Chattanooga. This past year, Inc. 5000 named us the fastest growing company in Chattanooga. We have been finalists for Small Business of the Year with the Chamber. We've been finalists for Best Place to Work and Best Logistics Company for the Best of the Best from Chattanooga Times Free Press. So all that to say is that we do work very hard and invest a lot of time, effort, and resources into kind of elevating this experience for all employees that work at Trident. And of course, our benefits package is one that plays right into that. So basically, going to kind of just start going through my list, and I definitely want this to be a collaborative discussion. So please interrupt me if you have a question or if you have something that you all do at your companies or an idea that you all may have. So then that way this can just be a very good shared space where we can all come out of this little seminar with some good ideas that we can take back to either our own companies, different clients, all of that good stuff. So kind of just going based off of the title a little bit, that basic benefits aren't enough anymore, and kind of the description that I wrote for this specific seminar. I think that we are, especially now with all of the changes that we have had to acclimate to, that we necessarily weren't planning on with, COVID and everything. So like transitioning from a work from home or different things like that. I think that as a society, we are progressing more and more towards where basic benefits just truly aren't enough anymore. We have to offer more to the employees and to the employee experience, because it's much more about just a paycheck now. So they're looking and they're searching for that company where they can really like dive in and grasp the mission, and then that they're invested in the company is invested in them, to where they're looking for a more all-inclusive benefits package rather than just pay. So they're looking for those, extras that they get with a company. And so I think as employers, we just definitely need to understand that, recognize that progression that people who are searching for jobs is moving towards. And then, of course, make it to where they want to come work for us, right? So I kind of want to just go through our benefits package that we offer, some things that kind of make us stand out as an employer when we have people that are searching for jobs, and just what we offer to kind of elevate that employee experience. And then I'd love to hear your questions, hear from you. What are some things that you've been doing that are kind of not status quo, and all of that good stuff. So we have a competitive full benefits package, and that's awarded to all full-time employees. We don't have any part-time employees at our job. We do have internships that we do with a lot of college students during their summer and winter breaks. And of course, those are all paid, but our competitive full benefits package is for all of our full-time employees. So just kind of going in different sections. So in our insurance section, we do have a 3-tier health insurance plan. I think that's pretty common for most employers out there. We do offer an HSA, and we do have a company contribution to that HSA. So our employer contributes if an employee signs up with an HSA account, then the employer will contribute to that HSA account as well. So I think that kind of helps us stand out a little bit, that the employer is contributing to that health savings account as well. We offer dental, vision, voluntary life that is extended to the spouse and children as well, and short-term disability. And then we have a couple of insurance benefits that are completely employer paid. So Trident pays for a basic life insurance policy. We pay for a long-term disability policy. And then we also have a company-wide direct primary care that is paid for by the employer. And this is definitely something that sets us apart. It's something that I, as an employee, utilize, and I absolutely love it. So basically, we have a partnership with Hitchcock Family Medicine, and they are a concierge-styled primary care. So basically how they're set up is they just draft a monthly fee, and then when you go in, there's not a receptionist at the front. You don't, you just walk in, you have your appointment, you don't ever wait. They don't run your insurance card, any of that stuff. If you do have any prescriptions or shots or blood work or anything, like any testing that needs to be done, they can get it to you at a heavy discount. And what's cool about that is the employer, so Trident, actually pays that monthly subscription fee for all of our employees. So when I go and I need something, like I need my ears cleaned out or whatever it may be, I literally just walk in, I have my doctor on, I have her cell phone number, I have her email address. I literally just walk in, she's right there, cleans my ears, I walk out. I don't have to deal with any sort of insurance or anything like that. So that is definitely something that Trident has done for their employees, and that also extends to spouse and children as well. So that is something that we have done that definitely sets us apart from the norm. And then moving onwards, so we do offer 401k to all of our employees. They are eligible for it day one of employment, so they do not have any sort of probationary period when it comes to that. And it also includes a safe harbor match up to 4%. So if the employee puts in 5%, we match 4%. So the first 3%, the Trident matches at 100%, and then the fourth and the fifth percent are matched at 50%. So if the employer is if the employee is contributing 5% to their 401k, then the company matches 4% of that. And then we also offer an EAP, an employee assistance program, that is offered to employees at no cost to them, and it gives employees free and confidential resources 24/7 that they have access to. We especially now in this climate, we have seen our employees reach out more and more for those resources. So it's definitely a really great resource that we have to offer to our employees, just to make sure that if they need any sort of help when it comes to their mental health, that those resources are available and free to our employees, because they are at no cost to them. So something else that definitely helps us stand apart, this is probably the more shocking of the one. I feel like every time we talk about this particular benefit, everyone's like, wait, what? How does that work? Like, are you serious? So we actually offer an unlimited paid vacation policy that starts day one of employment for all of our employees. And this was something that started last January was when we implemented this. Prior to this, it was just the standard 2-week paid vacation. That's the typical status quo that you'll see with a lot of companies. And basically, our owners of the company really wanted to just find a way to give back to the employees even more so, just because our employees really, truly, they're dedicated to this job. They work very hard for this job, and we've seen so much substantial growth within our company just from, the efforts of our employees. And so I think the owners of our company really wanted to show our employees that we loved them and that we wanted to give back to them as much as possible. So this is kind of where this unlimited paid vacation policy kind of came into fruition. And so, like I said, it starts day one of employment, and I get a lot of, how is that possible? How do y'all make that work? Sort of questions every time I talk about this unlimited paid vacation policy. So basically, yes, they have unlimited paid vacation. Of course, there's, some things that they have to do prior. So it's asked for ahead of time, just like any normal vacation would. So they would ask and say, hey, I need 1 day, 3 days, a week, whatever it may be, and put it on the calendar. They have to ask for it about 2 weeks out from the vacation days that they need. And then, of course, that just goes through their direct supervisor channel, and then, of course, to HR. So then we have that documented. But it definitely is what it says it is. It is an unlimited paid vacation policy. And I think that we at Trident definitely preach work-life balance as much as possible, and taking those days that when you need those days, you need it. And the logistics industry can be very demanding at times and very time consuming at times. So we wanted our employees to have the ability to, let's say, we have an employee who has a daughter who's in a ballet recital in a couple of weeks, and, they don't have to plan out their entire year based around all of these different life events. So we definitely wanted it to be where they can go and they can see their daughter's recital, and then they can still take their annual beach trip or whatever it may be. And they didn't have to worry about completely planning their entire lives around this 2-week period of time. So that's definitely where that came in addition to unlimited paid vacation policy, we do offer 6 personal sick days to use at their own discretion. So let's say it is one where they wake up or it's 4 a.m. and, you know, they can't go to work the next day. That's where those personal and sick days come in. So it differs in that sense of the personal sick days you can truly take like absolutely whenever. And then of course the vacation day policy it needs to be submitted ahead of time, like any other vacation would be. We also offer paid holidays. We are a 24/7 company. So we do have a ghost skeleton crew on all hours of the day and of course through holidays as well. So, you know, if they choose to work in those holidays, of course they get compensated for it, but we do also have paid holidays. And then we give our employees a company paid cell phone day 1 of employment. They get those cell phones. Some choose to keep their personal phone and have their work phone. Some choose to just combine the two. It's definitely the option for them. But like I said, a lot of the clients and people like that they may be servicing or they may have in their book of business, they could be on California time or in a different time zone. So when they call, they may not be in the office. So whether they're, you know, at home or at lunch or whatever it may be. So we provided them with a company cell phone that's completely paid for. So then those clients can, you know, still reach out, get in touch with them if they need them in any sort of way. So that is a very brief lowdown of kind of what we offer to all of our employees starting day 1 of employment. So there's not really any probationary period or anything like that they have to wait to get that benefits package that we have. So I would love to, I know I just talked a lot, so I'd love to hear from you all if you have any questions about anything, if you have something that you like that you've seen a really good, because obviously we're still always trying to elevate that employee experience. So if you have seen something that you've implemented in your own company or clients that has worked very well, just kind of starting to open up this discussion.
Well, Caitlin, I of course have questions on the unlimited paid vacation.
Okay. I figured that would be the
So,
one you would have those questions on.
yeah. How many employees do you have?
So we have about 115 across all 3 locations.
Okay. And do you know what the average vacation time is that people have been taking since you started offering this?
Yeah, I would say that the max that we've seen on average is a week. We actually really truly haven't seen more than that. If someone, I think we've only had one that has been longer than a week. And, you know, of course we said absolutely yes. I think he was traveling to Europe. This was about a year ago. He was traveling to Europe. And so I think he did a full 2 weeks at a time. But actually, for the most part, on average, the most we've ever seen someone take it in a consecutive basis is a week. Other than that, I think they truly utilize it as, you know, a day here, a couple days here, a long weekend here. So total, I would say probably each employee, probably like 3 weeks total, if you kind of counted them all throughout the year, is probably what I would see here and there.
Okay.
And I want to put that in perspective. Your employees by nature, the way they're compensated on salary is pretty heavy on commission side, isn't it?
So we are salary plus commission, but yes, so we have a sales force, and then of course we have HR department, accounting department, all of that. So the paid policy goes to everybody. It doesn't just go to our sales force. But yes, in our sales force, their compensation is salary plus commission. So the salary is definitely just a good base salary to pay their bills, all that good stuff. And then of course, where they'll make like the majority of their money would be in that commission-based structure.
Yes, so I can see that's a deterrent from taking too much time off because all you're then getting is just your base salary on your days off.
Right. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
with our company paid cell phones, they actually can work anywhere. So we have the technology to where they can actually access anything on their computer through their cell phone as well. So even if they aren't necessarily in the office, they can still actually be working. So if they are on vacation and they choose to work, they can, totally up to them, but they do have that capability of working even if they are not in the office.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So when y'all are so we work with a lot of startups that haven't even implemented benefits programs, and the big struggle that they come up with is how do you budget for it, and what is a good entry level way of approaching this that you say, all right, we've got a company that has 3 or 4 employees. What are good cost efficient ways that you can implement a benefits program that isn't going to break the bank of an employer?
Right. I mean, I definitely think that at the bare minimum, you need to sit down and you need to really kind of talk about what you want to offer to the employees, kind of what does that look like, and then sort of see where you can elevate that experience a little bit. So maybe it isn't possible to do an unlimited vacation policy, but maybe it's possible to do something to where it's more than just that status quo of like 2 weeks. Or maybe it's where you're increasing those personal sick days or whatever it may be. But I feel like there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of tweak and elevate that employee experience and that benefits package just a smidge to where it wouldn't necessarily break the bank, especially if you only have 3 to 4 employees. So, I mean, if you look at it from like having a 401k, and offering a 401k option, or offering the option to where they can have an HSA if they choose, and then of course contributing to that as well. That could be a good one. We do a lot of wellness programs to where we have different sort of benefits for if they are going to, we have partnerships with a bunch of different gyms in town. So it's Sports Barn downtown, Kyle House Fitness, Orange Theory on North Shore. We have different programs set in place for them as well to where they kind of get some money back if they're, contributing to their wellness. So different things like that are not, I don't think are going to break the bank, especially if you only have 3 to 4 people that you're trying to service, and it'll still kind of elevate that experience to where they feel like they're getting more than that status quo.
Do you have a ballpark of what they should budget in expense for implementing a benefits program? Like, for example, I was in a position where we were part of a group of probably about 80 employees. And our benefits package, now mind you, this was California, but our benefits package was every bit of 40 cents of every dollar that was paid in payroll, 40 cents was an add-on for benefits. Is there kind of a budget line that y'all kind of try and set yourselves at?
I'm sure there is, and I'm actually emailing our CFO to see if he can answer that question. I'm going to ask him right now. Is there a budget line?
I know in my past experience with some companies, it averages around 25%. I think that was an average that was used to kind of just get an overall cost, because you have some people that will take more benefits than others. Some that won't be on your health insurance because they're on a spouse's insurance. But, for a small group, I would think probably around 25 to, maybe 30, because with a small group, you're not going to have the benefit of negotiating with providers like large groups do. So I would suggest maybe a 25 to 30 based on some of my past experience working with that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Rhonda. I mean, we definitely have seen that too. Not everybody uses that direct primary benefit that we have because they have a doctor that they love, that they're not going to change, or they are on their employee's insurance plan or whatever it may be. So we offer all of these benefits to an employee, but like you said, some will utilize them and some won't. And that's the same thing with our, paid vacation policy, we have people that absolutely love to work, and that's all they want to do is they just want to come to work. So you don't see them really kind of utilizing that vacation policy as much as someone who maybe just had a baby at home and is kind of using that time to, be with their new daughter or new son or whatever it may be. So definitely a good mix of who utilizes the benefits package that we offer as well.
Yeah, I'll just chime in really quick. I've actually worked for companies that have had, traditional paid time off type of programs, as well as the unlimited. And I've found that, the companies that have the unlimited, first of all, I mean, you get, the talent pool that you are able to bring in is a lot higher. And so the company weighs obviously that aspect of it, when they're outlaying these types of benefits. But I've found that, folks that they know their goals, they know their milestones, they know what they need to achieve in each individual role. As long as that's clear and their description is clear, they tend to actually not abuse that policy at all. You find that people are, very, very willing to come to work and put their full selves into work. And like I said, I've worked in both, but I found that the unlimited tends to be a bit more just it's a lot better from at least from what I've seen in terms of employees and how they approach it.
Yeah, that's exactly, I couldn't have said it better myself. I think that's exactly the results that we've seen since implementing this policy with the talent pool that we're getting. Just the productivity levels that we're getting out of our employees are way more than when we did have that traditional status quo of 2-week paid time off. And so yeah, 100%, Michelle, I'd completely agree.
Yeah, definitely. And if there is anyone that is abusing it, typically you will find that there are other reasons to potentially have a conversation with that employee anyway. And that's just another sign to maybe have a bit of a formal discussion with that employee.
Right, 100%. And I don't think we've really had an employee that has abused this vacation policy, because I think you're right, Michelle. I think that they just know that they know what job needs to be done and they know exactly what they need to do. And then of course they do it and then they don't abuse it. And it's actually been a very cool kind of experience to watch how this unfolded, because I'm sure that when we were implementing this, we had those fears in the back of our head of if, we were going to have the entire employee force kind of abuse this really amazing benefit. But it's definitely been the opposite. I definitely think that they just know that when they need time off, it's there and available to them. And then, they know the job and they know what needs to get done. And I think that kind of motivates them to work and be productive. And it's just a good feeling, just to know that your employer really, truly cares about you, your livelihood, your mental health, and that we offer those for them.
Yeah, and you mentioned voluntary life, and there's in a couple companies I've worked with, offering other voluntary benefits are really viewed positively too. So it's not even any cost to the company. Aflac is one company I've worked with, Voya, where they have, cancer insurance, hospital insurance, additional disability, additional life insurance, all different types of, accident insurance. And people appreciate having that option. And as a company, basically, we would just facilitate the signing up and the payroll deduction for premiums, but it didn't cost the company anything. But those were really good benefits to be able to offer employees too, that they appreciated, but didn't really cost the company anything.
Nice. And I did have a question from Stephanie. It said, how did you go about setting the unlimited paid vacation? Like I had talked about, I think that, the first of the previous year, our upper management team got together and they just really wanted to find a way to elevate the benefits package for our employees, elevate that employee experience, and kind of give back to them. And so I think that they just kind of took the standard procedure of any vacation policy in the sense of submitting it prior to the vacation days, it going through the direct supervisor, it going through the HR department, all of those standard procedures that you would see, but just opening up that avenue to where our employees could truly take an unlimited amount. They didn't have this barrier of 2 weeks that they had to completely stick to.
Caleb, quick question. This is a lot to manage. I imagine you've got multiple providers for each one of these areas. How do you go about managing all of these different providers? Do you have some that are kind of consolidated together, and you're using one particular provider for multiple benefits, or how do you go about managing that? Do you have multiple folks staffed in order to be able to manage each one?
So actually, Tim, our CFO, just walked into my room, so I'm gonna get him to answer this question.
Okay.
Tim, welcome. I'm putting him under the bus. He's gonna come in here and answer that.
Great.
Come on video.
They can see me.
Yeah,
Oh,
can see
I have a face made for radio. How do we manage all the different products? We have an agency that we use, Brock Insurance Agency, and basically what we've done with Brock is from the onset of when we decided to start bringing on benefits in early 2016, we actually signed up with Brock. And one of the things we like to do here is we like to stay loyal. We like to find people that want to be our partner from the beginning and go all the way to the end with us. And so we've committed to them, they've committed to us. And each year we've built the package just a little bit broader, a little bit broader. We try to offer different packages, different levels of packages, and they help us manage that. They actually have a portal that we use in order to onboard the employees. And that portal manages all the different systems. As far as payment and billing, we actually, our AP person receives the billing and actually uses the portal system to balance, is this invoice accurate? Did we have people drop off? Did we have people add on? And it's challenging, but at the same time, we have a system in place and we know exactly how many lives should be on what plan and at what level every month. So all she has to do is tie that together.
Yeah, that does. And do they provide then insight into, after you reach to a certain point, they would recommend, would they be also recommending some new benefits? Would they be recommending different tiers? Do they provide a level of consulting and insight in that process as well?
They do, as well as I pretty much try to stay on top of it, of all that as well, and what's going on in the benefits package area. Eventually, we will grow to the size where we will hire an HR director that will handle all that. But now, pretty much, we handle it, but we do go by their advice. We switched, not this past April, but April of 19, we switched from Blue Cross Blue Shield to Cigna. And the reason for the switch was comparable packages, comparable pricing, but more importantly, we could start to get generic, we wouldn't know who, but we would get generic information about what our claims were actually falling under. Where are we utilizing the insurance more? Where are we utilizing it less? Those are important because as you grow and become bigger and bigger, you have a choice of either going to a captive, which is somewhat self-funding, or you can actually start to self-fund your health insurance. And before you make big decisions like that, you need to know what your experience has been as far as claims, where those experiences are. So you can alter your plan to try to steer your lives where you want them to go, to try to save the most cost, but at the same time providing the most benefit. A prime example of that is when we switched to Cigna, is we went with a concierge doctor. I don't know if y'all have discussed this or
A
not.
little bit, yeah.
But the purpose of the concierge doctor is it's a benefit to all of our employees.
Mm-hmm.
We try to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
So their trips to the doctor are always free.
Mm-hmm.
And their prescriptions through that doctor range from anywhere from $1 to $2.
Yes, I paid 50 cents for my last prescription, just to put it out there.
And so that has been a huge savings. The other part of that savings is we have more information from that doctor as to what's going on with all of our lives and our plan. And so when we go to make bigger decisions, there'll be more informed decisions. So that's kind of how our strategy is to how to keep up with where we are and where we're going.
Before you guys implemented the program back in 16, when you had before you implemented your benefits program in 16, what were you doing for healthcare for your employees?
Previous to that, nothing.
Yeah.
How many employees did
We
we
had
have?
6 employees at the
Six
time.
employees at the time.
You had 6 at the time. So at that point you said, look, we're already growing at an exponential rate. We've got to start offering something.
But we saw the growth coming, and we wanted to be innovative to the point where we would be a place everyone would want to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be that place if you're not offering benefits.
Right.
And so what we decided to do was, at the time, our first package was not really extremely competitive because we couldn't be. We had such small lives. We had to be part of everybody else. But at the same time, we decided that we would offer, which the rules have changed, so we can't do exactly what we did back then. But we would offer to pay 80% of everyone's bronze plan, and then 60% of silver and 50% of platinum. And that allowed us to have the tiers even at that level, which panned out because our demographic is probably mid-20s,
Mm-hmm.
most of which don't think they even need insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So what we've tried to do from that point forward is to continue to hold that bronze level, or it's really catastrophic insurance, hold that level down to as cheap as possible for our employees, which I'm not sure what the rate is now for single, but it's somewhere in the $20.
It's like 20. It's like 26-ish. Like that's what I pay a month.
And at the same time, when we were able to bring the doctor on board,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of narrows the gap of that catastrophic coverage. So basically, our concierge doctor will even X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
They'll even
Blood work.
do all the blood work. They can even set up your MRI
Mm-hmm.
appointment that will be much cheaper than if you would go through the normal channels. And so they've seen the benefit. They've seen that they could actually go to the doctor. And matter of fact, we have, I'm aware that because they've talked to me, I'm aware of 4 kids that we have in the kids. I call them kids because I'm old. But we have 4 employees in their 20s that were diagnosed with very high blood pressure. They had no clue, and they would have had no clue. So they see the benefit of this big time.
Mm-hmm.
And that other thing with their blood pressure medicines, they get 3 months worth for $1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a no-brainer for them. So we wanted to continue to attract the best employee we could in Chattanooga. And with as many logistics companies as there are in Chattanooga, we felt like that was important for us to start early. We followed that up, I believe, 5 months later with our 401k plan.
Mm-hmm.
So we just started building on all the different packages of what we could offer employees.
Do you have a large percentage of your employees in that bronze plan because of the concierge service you have?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Yeah,
And I
makes
think
sense.
that's the demographic as well. Like you said, most of our employees are mid-20s, single, no dependents. So they kind of just automatically kind of go into
The
navigate.
invincible young men, right?
Yeah, they all think.
The part of our package also is it doesn't matter which plan you're in, we still pay for the concierge
Mhm.
doctor.
Yeah.
Even for those that are in the platinum that can go to any doctor they want to, they can still go to that concierge doctor. And the benefit of that is our concierge doctors, you can text them.
Mhm.
If you don't have time to go to the doctor, they'll come here.
Mhm.
They'll go to your house.
Mhm.
There's just a lot of pluses to that. And it's really kind of the trendy thing in health insurance right now. And it's become wildly popular because it's such a savings.
Oh, yes.
What does that do for, what kind of tax benefits are there for the employer on these kinds of programs?
It's the same as your benefit is exactly what you pay out in dollars. So you don't get an extra incentive on it. The main thing that we're getting is the commitment and loyalty from employees.
But what you're paying in benefits, you can write off a certain amount of those expenses.
All of them.
All of them.
Yes.
Okay. And I asked the question earlier that Caitlin didn't know the answer to, but it's kind of putting you under the spotlight for a second. I have a couple of clients that are really in starting stages for offering benefits for their employees. They're 3, 4, 5-person houses. What should they budget as let's say 30 cents per dollar for payroll? 30 cents of that would also be added on as a benefit expense. What did you kind of?
I guess you asked her that question, so she texted me that. That's why I actually came
That's
in
why
here.
I came in.
But basically, what we tried to do was we went out to the market, to the insurance company, and we said, we're a small group. We're going to be dependent upon placing us in a group that allows us to get the best coverage that we can at the best possible price. When they came back with the different prices, we were fortunate enough that with Brock, and this isn't a Brock insurance commercial, but we were fortunate enough with them because I do believe in them, that they came to us with about 7 different programs. And we took those 7 programs and budgeted each of the 7. Rather than budget a cents per dollar, we budgeted the program and what was that going to cost us for the year, and how did that fit into our margin that we were projecting for the year. So at early stages, we weren't necessarily looking at cents on the dollar from a budgeting standpoint as much as the overall package and what was it going to cost us and how did that fit into our overall budget. That's how we did it. Because I think it'd be very difficult to come up with a cents per dollar budget for that line item without knowing what your package might end up including. And so that's another piece, as I told you, you go basic. That's what I'd recommend for your 3 or 4 live companies. Go as basic as possible. Depending on their profit level, I mean, they could also, they could offer 2 tiers instead of 3. And then, as they grow, if they're in growth mode, as they grow, expand that whole benefits package. Like this last year, we added voluntary life. We added, we pay long-term disability for our employees. Then we offered short-term disability that we don't contribute to, which I felt all three of those were a big added benefit that we plugged in. Now, what we've done as we've grown is we do throw in those cents per dollar or dollars that need to be spent for those, because the life insurance, we offer like a $25,000 accidental life benefit, and so that's been helpful too. Which probably they'll be offered that with their first package anyway. A lot of times in the 4 to even up to 20 lives range, some of the insurance companies will offer the life insurance benefit at no charge early on. So that's something to look for too.
Awesome. Any other questions? I know we're kind of getting on to that hour mark. Any other questions before we wrap up? And while Tim's here.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you all. If you do have questions later on, I'll actually go ahead and type my email into this chat for everybody, so you can have it. And then let me just do that, everyone. And then please just send me any questions that you all may have. Connect with me. I'm on LinkedIn, whatever it may be. And we're just here to be a resource to everybody. So thank you all so much for coming and stopping by. And thank you, Tim, for answering some questions that I couldn't have answered. But thank you all so much. I hope you all learned a little bit of something here today and just had some good fun. But I hope everyone enjoys Startup Week Chattanooga.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a
Bye.
good week. Bye.
Bye.